And welcome back to another episode of Generation 2, Generation Bridging the Gap with Rex
and Eva.
And we are so
excited
to hang out with you guys for a little bit this afternoon. And we're going to have some fun with this one.
We are going to have some fun.
We have fun with all of them.
We do, but this one isn't so serious because we're doing table topics this week.
We are.
Table topics without Mom because she's at work.
Yeah, so just didn't get a chance to get it in. I hate it that Mom is not here, but yeah, we may do another table topic with Mom next week. So, but we're going to do it with you and me today. A lot of stuff going on. I am finishing my book. I am so close, 99.5% done. Another 0.5%, half a percent before it goes to the editors. So
awesome.
Excited, and you're getting very close to finishing your thesis.
Oh my gosh, I am. It's so real. I'm turning it into a speech this week. I'm making the video of the speech. I've got to do the senior bio, like the website, and my picture. It's so exciting. I mean, I give my defense in like 5 weeks. And I think that's the most terrifying thing I've ever said, is that in like 5 weeks I give my thesis.
You're going to do great, though.
I'm excited.
You have put so much work and effort into this, and that's what's required, because if you do the preparation, when it's time to execute, it's going to be a lot easier than what you thought.
Yep.
So you're going to do great. Yeah.
Table topics.
Here we go.
I'm going to start with the first one.
All right, pull it up. What does it say?
What do you think your generation will face, and what issues do you think your generation will face in the future?
Okay, my generation. We're talking about my specific age generation. Boomers. Yeah, that's really a good question. Here's what I think, and I just had this conversation with a friend at breakfast yesterday. Boomers have a lot of frustration right now because there's a piece of us that really don't feel like we're seen and heard anymore. And because people are more willing to question authority than they ever have been in their life. And I don't have a problem with that. But the challenge for us when you're my age is you look at those that came before us, and my elders, and I'm not talking about a title when I say elder, I'm talking about a role. Elder, a person that has lived quite a bit of time and has some life experience. They have a role, they have a responsibility to help the younger generations and to pass the torch. And so what we saw in my elders were honored, they were esteemed. In some cases, they were revered. And we look around and we kind of feel like we're being pushed to the side, discarded, nobody listens. And the challenge that I have continually had with and to my peers is I'm like, hey, don't disengage. I know it's a little frustrating right now, but I think we're headed for some continuing difficult times in terms of the tension politically, socially, economic, all that stuff. And this is not a time for those of us that are elders to shrink back, to pull back. And it's time to press in and pass the torch to the younger generations, but at the same time, not abdicate our role as elders. I know some stuff, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So
you know a lot.
That's a long answer to a short question.
That is.
So what are the challenges that you think your generation is going to see?
Well, I think it comes off the same wagon, the same cart, I don't know, is that we are going to face issues if we don't learn how to communicate with people who aren't complete carbon copies of ourselves. My generation has a really hard time discussing anything, whether it be a type of music to a political thing to a social issue, without yelling at each other, without making assumptions, without using, not slurs, but throwing around titles that aren't necessarily accurate and things like that. And it doesn't help that social media has given people a platform to hide behind, that a lot of people will say something on social media they won't say to someone's face. And it has caused so much tension. And so I think, I wrote this in my thesis actually. I said our current future generations won't know how to handle progress if they're only taught how to look for a correct answer. in regards to testing. I had said, like, if you don't teach students how to look for more than a right answer, but how to look for the problem and how to solve it and why they solved it that way and all of those things, then in 10 years when technology changes and they're working a job and the system changes, are they going to know how to fix it? Are they going to know how to grow with it? And so I feel like we have the potential to become a really stagnant generation that isn't willing to grow because of how we've been taught. And so I think that it's going to take a whole movement for us to learn how to communicate with each other and how to listen. The first grade saying, put your listening ears on. Well, my generation needs to put their listening ears back on.
Yeah. Yep. I totally agree. And all generations do. Because again, we bring our preconceived notions to the table, sometimes these incomplete narratives, but it is divisive. And we've talked about this multiple times, but we are going to have to figure out a way to get along and to disagree with each other civilly without attacking each other. And there's multiple I could throw. I'm not even going to throw them out. There's multiple examples in the news this week where people are attacking each other. And I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, what happened to us all being Americans? Matter of fact, I wrote it's not really a poem. It was a narrative that I wrote back in the late 90s called I Am an American. And I am going to put that in print. I never published it. But I'm like, oh my goodness, look at what's happened in the last 20 years since I wrote that. But I'm like, I think it'd be a good reminder. I'm gonna get it published in a real nice lithograph type issue, and it's gonna be cool.
I had said that during the election. I had said, if your loyalty to a party supersedes your loyalty to a nation, you're the problem.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing that a lot. If your loyalty to an issue supersedes your loyalty to humankind, your loyalty to your family, to the everything around you, your work, things like that.
Yep.
I'm like, I think another issue we have is there's a lack of loyalty to things. So changing subjects completely.
Oh yeah, we better go to the next card. We could spend the whole episode on this. So what
Guys,
is great survey says? Great answer. Okay,
but
now
I'm going to say this right now. We secretly, these table topics just let us know what we can talk about for a long time so we can come back and revisit them in a podcast episode. So the next one is, what is your favorite family memory?
Favorite family memory? Oh my goodness. We were talking about this the other night because we were going back through old pics. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, we were kind of making fun of each other. I wasn't going to say that. You said that.
I was making fun of myself. I was making fun of my sense of style, but we were looking through them. So what was your favorite?
Favorite memory? Oh my gosh, Eva, we've got so many. I don't know. Italy, our family trip to Italy was really good, but our family vacation last summer to Hawaii and then Southern California, there was just something about that trip. That was a really, really good trip.
Yes, I agree. I think in Hawaii, we were familiar with the location. And so we were kind of more laid back, more comfortable. And then Southern California, we just liked Disney. We like all that area. And so we had a lot of fun. I think that would probably be my number 2. I think my favorite was what we did for my birthday this year when we went to New York.
Yeah.
Purely because we all went there having no idea what to expect. And we were all continually blown away by it. You didn't think you were going to like it. Mama didn't know how much it had changed in the last 40 years.
Right.
I'd never been. And so it was an adventure, and it was so much fun. I had an absolute blast, but I just enjoyed it because we were together. We were doing everything together.
Yep.
And so we were exploring it together. We were going to the plays, the shows, the museums. We all did something the other person wanted to do. And so
went to a Giants game.
Yep. It was a lot of fun. So those are probably my 2 favorites.
Yeah.
So
that was a good time. And we're going to do that again.
Next one.
Yep.
What small thing annoys you most, and why does it bother you so much?
What small thing annoys me? What are you doing?
Okay, I'm like aggressively wiping my leg because if he gets even the smallest amount of food, like he'll be eating something in the car or whatever, and he'll or if like somebody walks by him eating something, he'll just take his hand and he'll aggressively wipe off his leg. And it's the most passive aggressive thing ever. And it's so funny. But no, I don't know if that annoys you. I was just.
Well, yes. And that you have to understand the personality types. I am a high C personality, which is the analytical type. that likes things to be nice and neat and in a box. And so when food some people, if they drink a cup of coffee, if they eat, they are going to get a stain on their shirt, on their blouse, on their pants, whatever it is. I can't stand it. I'm like, and I am very conscious. I'm hyper conscious about it. I mean, I can drop a little bitty crumb of food and I will feel it either bounce off of my shirt or bounce off of my leg. And I'm looking down to see if it made a stain, because I cannot stand to have stains on my clothes. I can't stand to walk by trash that someone has not picked up. It's all in the details. So, yeah, there's the answer to the question.
Mine, it's the stupidest thing ever, but I cannot sleep if the doors are not closed. Like, if my closet door is not closed, if my bedroom door is not closed, if the bathroom door is not closed, like, I cannot go to sleep unless every single door is closed. I don't know why. I was never that way as a child, and now it's the weirdest thing. So when I, like, spend the night at someone's house and they sleep with the door open, I'm like, you got to close that. Like, no. Or, like, we're in a hotel room and there's, like, no door between the bathroom and the bedroom. Like, it wakes me up during the night. Like, it is the weirdest thing ever, but it annoys me so much when people can't close doors all the way. And I don't know, it's the funniest thing. I don't know why it bothers me so much, but
so keep the doors closed, pick up the trash, and let's not spill food and coffee on us.
No, I was gonna say I was gonna joke and say dirty glasses, because if you know me, my glasses are always somehow messy. I don't know how. I don't touch them. They go on and off my face twice a day, and they are always, I'm like, how did I get a smudge across the whole lens and things? No, that does not bother me.
I know, you look like you've been four-wheeling by the time mid-afternoon comes with your glasses. I'm like,
I don't know how, guys. I'm worse than like some of like the 5-year-olds that I babysit that wear glasses. I don't know how I do it. But anyway, silly little question there. Okay.
All right. Next.
So, if you had 3 wishes, what would you ask for?
3 wishes. What would I ask for? Yep. Number 1 is real easy. We've talked about this on the episode, but Mom has a slight muscle disorder that can be rather inconvenient. That would be my first wish. Complete and total healing for her, no doubt.
Yep. What's your next one?
My second wish is that I get this book published rapidly, because I am ready to move on to the next thing. It has required a tremendous amount of physical and mental energy to focus on this and get it done, but I'm really excited, but I'd like to get that thing knocked out.
And 3?
3, I don't even know.
You would say mine and you can think of it?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So, well, you've already healed. Oh, that would have been my first one.
Yep.
So, healing Mama. I would have free travel and accommodations and food and all those things for the rest of my life. Like, I don't care. I want to stay in the best quality resorts, on the best seats on the plane, to any place I want, anytime I want to go. And I never have to pay a cent for food, travel, anything I do while I'm on vacation. Like, that would be my second wish. It's because then I could see the world. I could do literally everything and not have to pay a dime for it. So I would do that. And then it's hard. I would probably, and because I have such a passion for it, I would wish for some, like, better funding for some of the philanthropy projects I'm a part of and things like that. Like, I would wish for, like, more support for them, or the ability to give more support to them, because I've poured my hearts out into them. But because there's not, like, much that I'm thinking now that I'm like, God doesn't already have a plan for. And so that would be like having the means to give back to the community more.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I think it's awesome.
You have a third one yet?
Third one is world peace.
Oh, of course.
No, but it is. Yeah. Hey, can we be a little bit more peaceful with each other? And this one's going to be funny, but because it's on my mind. Years. I would wish that we never have another water leak again. We have lived in this house 4 years, and we just got our second water leak in the irrigation system. I am not going to repeat how much water went through the system before the water company called us. And I said, well, how much is the bill? And she said, you don't want to know. I said, oh, yes, I do want to know
'Cause I gotta
because
pay
you're
it.
going to ask me to pay it. So we're not going to get into those details, but they're painful. And so, yeah, that would be my third wish right after world peace is no more water leaks in this irrigation system that we have for the sprinklers. Okay, what's
Okay.
next?
What is a recent accomplishment that you're proud of achieving?
The book, no doubt.
The book,
because
yeah.
I'm like half a percentage away from. I just got a few final edits, and it is going to the editor at the end of this week, and we're off to getting it the cover design, the layout, and getting it into production. So I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I would say mine is my thesis,
Mm-hmm.
or it's making my college decision, which I'm
Yeah.
not going to obviously announce on here. But if you know me, you'll find out soon enough. If you don't, oh well.
You made a decision last night.
I did. I
All
think I kind
right.
of shocked you and Mama. I was just standing in the by the microwave, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna." I know where I'm gonna go, and y'all just both looked at me, and you kind of like rushed up from your seat. And you were like, "What?" And we talked it through, and then it turns out. So I called my best friend. She was the first person who I told outside of y'all. Well, funny story. 20 minutes earlier, her other best friend had called her, made the same decision to go to the same school I'm going to. So it was really funny that on the same day, both of us made that decision. So that's really, I guess, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want a serious or do you want a funny one for our last one?
Let's do funny.
Okay, what always
For the last
what
one.
always puts you in a good mood?
Breakfast.
Breakfast?
You know this. I love to get up and eat breakfast. I love just hanging out before the workday starts, before we start checking text, emails, all the stuff. Just give me some bacon and eggs and some coffee and let me hang out with some guys and just talk about life with no agenda.
Yep.
Don't bring your business up into my breakfast.
Yep.
You're going to make me mad.
Okay, mine. I have three things that always put me in a good mood. Okay, rubber ducks, which if
You are the duck lady.
I am the duck lady, guys. Which you might be like, Eva, you're 18 years old. Like, why rubber ducks? I don't know. I started collecting them like I guess 2 years ago, and it was right when like God was calling me for like where I was supposed to go into education and everything. And so they sit in my room, so they're the first thing I see when I wake up. And I have them in my car, and I always have like a duck on me, and it always brings kids this amazing smile. And so when I see them, I'm reminded of my purpose, and like it's I feel like it's a physical symbol of like my God-given purpose. So ducks always cheer me up. I am the duck lady. People that don't even know me very well at my school will just message me random duck photos. Like it's a whole thing. The other thing is I love anything glitter. I do not like glitter in my room. I just like putting glitter on other people. Don't put it on me. I will gladly put it on other people. I am also the glitter lady, guys. Like, I have a legacy at my school, and it is quite seriously just ducks and glitter. Like, I got the headmaster. I got pretty much the entire science department. I covered their faces in glitter last year with their permission. And so that's like my legacy is everybody knew that I got the entire high school and the entire staff department in glitter. And then the other thing is cooking. I love to cook, and so anytime I get to cook, it brings me in a good mood. And I guess I should add this one. Anytime my best friend calls me, anytime she calls me or I call her and get to talk to her, it always puts me in a better mood.
That's awesome.
Yep.
You need to write a book
Oh my goodness.
called Ducks and Glitter.
Ducks and glitter, guys. No, y'all don't want to hear about that. I'll keep those.
Oh my
I'll keep
gosh.
those to school events and things like that. But those are the things that always put me in a good mood. If you want to make me happy, get me a rubber duck. No, it's so funny. Is that like the girls in my small group, like these like middle school girls, they've started just finding rubber ducks out in like public or in their schools, and they just bring them to me. And so every week I'm going home with like another rubber duck. It is the funniest thing. They'll just be like, oh, I found this at school, or I found this in my room. I don't want it. You want it? And it's like a new duck. And I'm getting them all the time. A bunch of them got me like little Valentine gifts, and they were just all rubber ducks. I was like, guys, you've only known me a week. Like, this is wonderful.
Yeah, and the
so-
scary thing is a lot of your ducks have names.
And almost all of my stuffed animals and ducks have names, guys. I just got a new one last night. He's a yellow sloth holding a dull pineapple, and his name is Palm Nerd. Long story short, a lot of the animals' last names are like ends in nerd. But
That's just the thing.
it's just
right.
I don't know where it came from. But it's really funny. It brings me a lot of joy. It brings other people joy when I just randomly pull a duck out of my bag and hand it to them. But that's also my coping mechanism for the fact that mother told me I was not allowed to get a live duck. So those things bring me joy. But I guess with that, like the moral of that story is find something small that makes you happy, that like when you see it, it just brings you joy. It doesn't have to be something super fancy or important. It's not, a piece of jewelry or anything. It is literally a dollar rubber duck that I got in the bottom of a barrel at a thrift store in Virginia, or not Virginia, Tennessee, that made me go, oh my gosh, this makes me so happy. And then so they're all over my areas, my spaces, my car, my lawn, they're everywhere. So everywhere I look, there's always something that brings me joy.
The ducks with the name Nerd. So, with that said, Eva, you're the best Eva nerd ever.
Alrighty.
And so that's a fun episode, but looking forward to getting Mom on here. We're doing another table talk session with Mom. But until then, let's always remember, regardless of what happens, let's always be able to talk from generation to generation.
Hey, if you enjoyed our episode, make sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts and leave a review because it helps people who don't know about us hear our message. And if you want to follow us on our socials, follow us at G2G_podcast on Instagram and Generation to Generation on Facebook.